And hi, this is Scott Jordan, and you are watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma in beautiful Railroad Square, Santa Rosa, California. And welcome to TV Tuesday Live. This is the show where we taste wine, we talk about wine, and tonight we're going to unveil the wine club shipment. It's that time of year again.
Excellent.
So,
So how often do you do, let's see, a wine club shipment is 4 times a year?
yeah, 4 times a year, and we have 2 clubs. We have the First Sips, which is our emeritus or the original club, and we closed that as it started to grow. We wanted to make it exclusive. They get up to 20% off on their wines.
So that's kind of your charter group of folks who
It's
sign
the charter.
on.
That's probably
Yeah.
the right word for that.
Yeah.
In small production wines, as you know, to get a discount at all is crazy. To get 20% is unheard of. So, but we wanted a select group from the people that were with us in the very beginning. We've been at this since 2009. It's really crazy. And many of them are still with us today,
Excellent.
which is fantastic. So
And highly unusual too, right?
Oh, highly unusual. The average is 18 months lifespan, and these people are with us 7.5 years. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Well, it's a really cool deal too, because they get the early shot at the wines that are already limited, right?
yeah, these are limited small production wines. Got to be careful when you get the wines, and I always caution the wine club. Treat them as samples and buy what you like in quantity, because if you wait 6 months, they're gone. I mean, they're just gone, and then that's it. So, we've got a ton of news, a ton of things in the newsletter for those that have not seen it. The only group that actually saw the newsletter is the First Sips. The other club, our Cellar Club, will ship next month. They always go the opposite month of the First Sips. Mainly because First Sips is exclusive in that if I had a wine that I couldn't fit in both clubs, they'd get first shot of that. So, you know. But in the newsletter, it tells you, and I'll just, read a little bit here, that after 7 years in Railroad Square, Cellars of Sonoma is moving the collective tasting room up to Healdsburg. We've been talking about it. All the gears are in motion. I don't sleep anymore. I mean, I'm paperworked out of my brain, but I have officially posted all 8 wineries up in that location. So
that helps their license become active up there.
yeah, it takes 30 days. They got to post it, and that's the time clock. But it's a hard thing to do to get 8 wineries all together to get in a mound of paper and some money and get it up, and so it was quite a process, but we did it relatively fast. I'm so happy. For those of you that know this tasting room, if you're watching, you've been here before, you probably won't notice too much different in the room here. We're going to have a little less skews. We'll be featuring some of the wineries that we have.
Excuse me, but what does skews mean?
Well, each bottle's a skew. It has a number in it.
Okay.
That's a skew. We're going to go down from 30. We had 31. I didn't realize that. We never really added it up. We had 31 wines by the glass. That's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 31 bottles open possibly at any one time.
Well, yeah, it could be just that bad. So we've knocked it down to 19. We picked 19 of the most popular, the ones that we think are going to sell the most in here. When you go to Healdsburg, of course, we'll have the availability to all of our vintners' wines. But here, a little smaller menu. And then the cool thing is adding the beer. And so about a week and a half ago, my buddy Russ and I went out tasting, and there's a lot of microbrews, man.
That's a tough job you had there.
Well, it was. I was trying to be good, and I had like 7 locations on my list.
So 7 different breweries.
Yeah, that had a pretty good menu of different types of micro brews. So I had like I think 7. I think I had as many as 8, and I didn't get to 8. I got to like 3.5 because some of those darn things are like 10% out. They're like shots of liquor. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but it was easy to find some really nice beer. And so we're going to...
You're going to have 3.5 beers in here.
they'll have 3.5 beers. Yeah. Ultimately, we should have 4 tappers, and then we'll have some bottled beers.
Okay.
So the licensing thing for that looks like around the 16th, 17th is the start of that. I'll pick them up. They'll be here and cooling down, and they're great. So there's some really good ones. Hen House was excellent. Plow was really good. That one over on Cleveland, Fog Belt. That's the one everybody was telling me you got to go over. But I like Hen House. That was pretty good, man. They're in warehouses. It's really weird. It mirrors the wineries. It's really amazing. You would never know they're there. And you drive up to these industrial parks, and there's a frickin' tap room.
Yeah.
With a little food and 6 or 8 taps and maybe a little music. And
So it's not about the trappings of the facility, it's about the beer.
it's totally all about the beer. But it reminds me of the wineries doing
I'd
very
be more
much the same
confident
thing.
going to a place like that than somebody who's put their money into the big fancy brewery and
Oh, yeah.
it becomes almost a theme restaurant around a brewery or something.
It becomes, mass-produced. So anyway, we're excited. It's a neat thing that we're going to have exclusive here in Santa Rosa. We will be the very first combination of micro brew and ultra small production wine. Most of the tap rooms you see out there, they have really good beer, but they're just not making it at all on the wine. They're just not. And it's just they don't know any better, or they would fix that. But we've been producing so much really nice wine for the last 7 years. We're kind of spoiled. So the grocery store wines don't work for us. But you don't have to worry. We have it.
That's great.
And some new food. I'm still working on some menu stuff. I'm a little understaffed, so I've been saying I was going to do that new ham and cheese stuffed chicken
Right,
on
chicken.
the show.
I wondered what was going on with that.
Yeah, I'm understaffed, so I can't pull that off.
Maybe you
without
should
more
wait
people.
until Hen House is available and do kind of that whole theme.
Yeah, well, that would pair up really
I think it
good
probably would, yeah.
with the chicken. Well, we'll do it. It's going to be a dish that we can do in here that pretty easily.
And you don't have to pay a wing and a leg for it.
You were out drinking all day, I guess.
I
huh?
have not.
No, you have not. All right, so one of the first wine in the 4 wines in the wine club shipment is a 2015. That's our first 2015 Sauvignon Blanc. It is Orchard Station, which is produced by Moondance Cellars. And for those of you that got the flyer that I sent out, which shows all the wines, it says Moondance. It should have said Orchard Station, but I keep forgetting that that's the second label of Moondance. But anyway, we got correct. But you can see the logo, so you know that that's on there. I did that for the producers.
Moondance is still correct. I mean, that's correct.
Well, David Cohen corrected me on not having that label on there. So anyway, it's Orchard Station. The label represents the railroad that used to go through their property. And that location was Orchard Station. Thus
Because
the
I'm
name.
assuming at that time there were orchards over there.
Oh, yeah, most of what you had over there were apple orchards, I think. And then, a little neat takeoff on that. And it looks like the railroad thing that they had. This is all Russian River fruit. The note here says, a true expression of the Russian River Valley, cool climate. We say cool. Boy, I got a real taste for that today. Today it was foggy this morning. I went up to Healdsburg about 11 o'clock, and it was socked in here. And I have that little Miata, it's a convertible.
Sure.
And I always put the top down if the sun's out, but the sun was not out, so I didn't want to freeze on my way. I was just being a baby. Because by the time I got 10 miles north out of Windsor, man, it was 75 degrees like that, just like that.
Boom.
So what happens is the cool climate of Russian River, as you know, that fog that was in this morning, that was in when I got up this morning, will come in this evening. It's just over there. You can see it. It's kind of billowing. And it'll come in and take the temperatures from the high 80s down into the 60s like that. But great for Sauvignon Blanc, great for Pinot Noir.
Yeah, it really adds complexity when that temperature swing, they call it the diurnal temperature swing. That swing really helps a lot in the complexity of the wines that come from those grapes. It helps mature those grapes, and we're able to turn out really, really excellent wine.
That's got a great nose to it. It's young, so it's going to really pop right out of the glass. In the tasting notes, it says it has aromas of gooseberry. I didn't know where I could get a gooseberry. Is it a berry from a goose?
A gooseberry recently. Have you?
No, I haven't. But also peach. I get a little peach. Tropical fruits, pink grapefruit. Oh yeah,
Okay.
that. Yeah, you could have that for breakfast and with the pink grapefruit, pineapple, and key lime.
Yep, you've got that key lime.
I think that's going on.
Kiwi fruit.
You know, you call it a little grassy, but it's not over the top.
It's nice.
Nice mouthfeel. I don't think it saw any neutral barrels. Sometimes, as you folks at home know, sometimes they'll throw the Sauvignon Blanc or part of it into a neutral barrel, give it a little roundness to it. But I don't.
It brings back that acid a little bit, so it brings it down a bit.
So this retails at $30, $25, $50 if you're a Cellar Club member. Cellar Club members, hang on. You're coming up next month. Just as an FYI for the local people that are watching tonight, the shipment you will be able to pick up here for the first sip. You'll be able to get them here. We'll announce when you can no longer pick them up here, and you need to go to Healdsburg to pick them up. But we've got a great location up there, and we'll do a show up there soon. As soon as I get an internet line over there that's strong enough, we'll definitely do a show over there.
It's a great facility, great location.
Oh man, it's really nice. I mean, super nice, and yeah, we're excited. It's not going to be too much longer.
Coming up fast.
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm running out of time. I'm scrambling. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. It is just amazing. But I've solved a few, problems that we had to deal with. This three-compartment sink, I think. I'm going tomorrow morning to the health department.
I was going to ask that. So you have a health department you have to please. You have the ABC you have to please. Obviously landlords and...
Yeah, and I went to the city of Healdsburg. Do you know how much trouble that was?
A lot.
Nothing.
That's good.
They were excited. They said, what can we do to help you? I've never had that before.
Must be crazy people up there.
Oh, man.
It's supposed to give you a hard time.
I'm just telling you. Yeah, I got to do that. I have to do signs. I have signage. That's the only thing I haven't locked down, but I have a little time to work with that.
Okay.
And then, we'll start announcing, when we're going to do a soft opening. We'll just kind of open the door, and then you'll figure it out because not every. The weird thing, because you have 8 wineries, right? Well, they've all posted on different dates, so they have to go 30 days. So their licenses will come active in no particular order.
And that's true because sometimes the application goes in and the posting goes up in a shorter period of time, right? Sometimes it'll be approved sooner, even though it was put in later.
Yes, but you have to run all the way to the end of the posting.
Right.
So that's why I can't do the beer, because my posting goes into next week. So whatever. So
So the the phrase "easy as ABC"
Oh gosh, don't even
is
start.
not applicable in this
Telling you.
case.
I could write a book. I could write a book about licensing and what it
The
takes.
ABCs of licensing.
Anybody that wants to open up a tasting room, you have to pay me a lot of money. I'll teach you, but I'll show you how to do it. It's freaking crazy stuff. It's like Looney Tunes. I never saw so much paper. It's unbelievable. And those are all the green people. I don't get that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you know, they're just full of themselves. Those files were this thick. Each one 8 times the same information.
Wow.
It's not like you could share a file and say, well, "Go here." I got it online. It's right here. Seriously, I mean, yeah, it's a mess. It's just a mess. But so we're going to open up kind of like what we did here. The way we opened up, we just opened the door on the first license that got approved. So we had 2, and we poured those, and then as soon as I had the next one available, then we poured 3, and then 4, and then
That works.
and then yeah,
Yeah.
and they'll stagger in, and then eventually all 8 will be active. We are looking at a new. I can't say the name of the winery because we're negotiating.
We'd have to bleep it if you did. So.
Yeah, it's I'm just telling you, the wines rock. They flat out rock. It's varietals that we've needed. They do a Grenache. They do the Mourvedre, the GSM,
Uh-huh.
some Syrah, a little Zin, another Sauvignon Blanc. It's some areas that what I would say our portfolio, if it was weak, I would say it's weak in those areas. And so we're super excited. I think they're coming on board, and that'll put us at 9.
Which
but
is where you were kind of
it's kind of where
cruising along
we've been cruising.
several years ago, right?
Yeah, and we own Amorosa Bella, and it only has 2 SKUs.
Yeah.
That's 2
Yeah.
wines. Okay, 2 for the non-SKU people. Yeah, so like what can I tell you? So 9's not a huge. There are some collectives that are clicking 15 or 20. That's good for the guy like me,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know how that helps the vintners. That seems like that'd be an awful lot. But the Vintner Collective over in Napa is like that. It's got some great wineries in there, but boy, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
That would make me crazy.
Yeah.
That inventory thing has to be just stupid, like crazy. All right.
That's great. I like this.
So I know. Yeah, is it taking too long? Okay. Well, that's your summertime wine. If you're going to
Great
have a summertime wine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty. Holy smokes. 2015, man. This is the year you guys are going to pay extra for stuff like this. Just the way it goes, right?
Absolutely. Marketplace.
All right.
Supply
Now,
and demand.
I opened this the other day when Chris brought it in, and I went, what the heck was that? And I had to put it down because I go, man, this tighter than a drum. What is going on with this Pinot Noir? This is their 2013 Russian River Pinot Noir. Comes from the Indodoli? Indodoli?
Comes from the Russian River area.
Yeah, right, that place. Single vineyard wine. Did he tell us how much he did of this? No, it's probably, a couple hundred cases, maybe 300.
Yeah, he pretty much does. He's in that zone, right, pretty much for his wines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, wait, I didn't say to them. Okay, so what can I do? I want to do like a little contest because the only people that would know would be First Sips members because I sent the email out today. This wine, normally, tell me if I'm wrong, normally you would age a good Pinot Noir 12 to 18 months maybe,
Yes.
top
Totally.
end?
Well, again, you're talking about the kind of mainstay, ultra premium
Yeah.
from the West Coast here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, good.
And maybe at a third new oak
Uh-huh.
at the most. This is well, once I say what it is, then no one can. I was going to have you guess to see how long he aged this for. He aged, he's crazy. He aged this for 20 months in brand new, 100% brand new French
Never
oak.
used, which means you're going to extract a
Oh,
lot out of each barrel. So you're going to have a lot of
wow.
intensity.
This is the wine. Now, we talked about the Flash de Tante.
Uh-huh.
This is the wine that Chris had in the tank and then ran it through this Flash de Tante thing for me to taste the difference. And it was phenomenally different. And I think this is the same wine now, and that was like a year and a half ago. Well, first of all, 2013, great vintage year. This has a great nose. This is for somebody that wants something with the fruit up front, with a big back end that lingers.
Really soft on the mouthfeel, too. Really soft.
Oh, yeah, you can tell in the nose.
And yet there's intensity. And I know with Flash de Tante, interesting process where you pull out some of that. It actually ends up being more dense because you're pulling some of the water out. And along with the water, you're pulling some of the harsher elements out of it as well, the harsh tannins and so forth, and pyrazine, they call it. So they're cleaning it up with Flash de Tante, which is kind of a quick process, which changes almost immediately, almost as if you've aged it a while.
Yeah,
but it's still fresh, and it's much more fruit forward, but really still has the complexity. Really interesting, and read up on it. Google it. Read up on it. But it's a really interesting process because it's not done that often. There really isn't. It's coming online more and more. But I've talked to winemakers of wineries that we all know, and they look at me and say, I don't know what that is. That's how rare it is to find that. So when you do, it's worth checking out to see wherever it's from, it's going to be better than the other things from there often because it takes away some of that local element. You lose a little bit of that. This is the provenance of this particular wine because you haven't tasted it before that way. You've tasted it the other way.
Ooh.
And it just
really,
this thing will last a long time too.
Yeah, wait till you guys get this thing. Holy crap. I'd like to see this in a blind tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because already, you're talking about Pinot Noir, which is elegant and soft and kind of pulled back. And here we have one that's right in your face. So it doesn't come across, for those who do blind tasting, it doesn't come across as at least 100% of Pinot Noir. And Pinot Noir usually isn't blended too often. So you begin to say, I don't think that this is a Pinot Noir. I'm going to start guessing what it is.
Well, look at that color, too, man. There's no, gosh, dang. Now, in his notes here, he says, well-balanced, and I think it is, expressing cranberry, berry flavors, sweet spice, dark chocolate, and coffee, hints of earth and leather. Leather, I'd almost think with a Syrah. That's kind of, you getting the dark chocolate over there, Maggie? Yeah, okay. Wow, that's a mouthful. Wow. So normally you wouldn't.
I was about to say that. Normally
you wouldn't age a Pinot for extended periods. I mean, you can put some time on them.
Yeah.
But he went 20 months in brand new French
He
oak.
always breaks the rule. I love it when somebody says, you know what, I'm going to break the rules to get where I want to go. And he does that. But also normally, I was going to say this, normally in a tasting, coming off of the white wine, you want to start with something kind of relaxed a bit like Pinot Noir, something that has a complexity and softness and that demure quality to it before you move into some heavier things. But in this case, I know you mentioned this earlier, you could seriously take this out of the lineup as you build the intensity across a lineup like this for tasting and move it toward the end. This definitely is.
Oh, yeah, I could have put it on the back end here. Actually, this is going to be much lighter in contrast.
Yeah. And usually we like to go lightest to heaviest, driest to
But that ain't going to happen.
But
this sucker's big.
This one's step forward a lot.
This is huge. That is monster. So then you're going to change your meal planning a little bit. I mean, you could put this against, something a little bigger than you normally would think of with Pinot Noir.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
right?
You don't think of a steak with Pinot Noir at first. You can do that. Uh, but this certainly would go in that direction very much. Nice medium rare kind of
Mm.
ribeye or something.
Oh, yeah, all day long. That would hold up just fine. Wow, that is a monster, monster, monster wine. I opened it up like 2 hours ago, but you could have opened it up 5.
Yeah.
Wow, that's that's a big dog. That's a big dog. I like that.
It's going to last a long time in the bottle, so you can put this away. And
So, I mean, if you wimp out and you don't finish your bottle,
well, I don't know if that ever happens. You finish it off, and you say, "I got another bottle in the cellar. I'll keep that a little longer and go again at it." That's what I would do. Get yourself a case of this stuff,
okay.
and then kind of spread it out and see where you like its development. But this will develop over a longer period of time just because of what it is and how it's been built as a wine.
Very cool. Very cool.
And flash and ton is not a cheap process. It's
No.
it costs a whole lot more to do that, and it takes more effort to do that. But to get this out of the same grapes that somebody who doesn't do flash to taunt, you may pay a little more for this. And I haven't looked at the pricing here, but I'm just going to guess.
Yeah, it's $50, $42.50 on the Cellar Club. That's
Right. So in this lineup, actually, it's the highest priced of the bunch.
yeah.
And
You
I can
guys
see
got
why.
a deal this
Yeah.
time.
So-
Uncle Scott took care of you. I'm just telling you. Yeah, yeah. We did pretty good on this. You got 4 really outstanding wines.
So is that how you got that faster approval with ABC? You kind of had some of these bottles available for a blind tasting or something?
No, I just worked my butt off, man. I
All
ran
right.
around a lot. I did. I
So
went,
like what time were you working at paperwork this morning?
well, just so that you guys know, because
I heard the story. That's why I want to bring this
well,
up.
I didn't sleep really well last night, and I was just tossing and turning, and I thought, this is stupid.
Yeah.
It's 5:15 in the morning. I'm like this. My eyes are wide awake. I'm going to just sit and get on the laptop and work on some of the things that I had to do, and I had to do this letter about why are we here, kind of.
Yeah.
What
A religious experience kind
Well,
of
it
thing?
was just it was like, come on, we've been here 7 years. What do you want me to tell you? We haven't done anything wrong or bad. We haven't had the police here or any of that stuff. So you have to write this letter of why are you good for the neighborhood kind of thing.
We
And
should say just ask the neighborhood because they've been coming in for 7
well,
years.
then you know what I did? So then I got onto the system here from home, and I looked up people that live right here. And I've got a half a dozen wine club members that live like within a block. So I put that in I said, we've been doing pretty good. They're wine club members. They're right here. They love what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it was this justification letter anyway. So I did this letter, right? And so I thought, well, I'll send it, and then, later on this afternoon, we figured they'll get back to me and let me know. It wasn't like 20 minutes. And this gal got back to me. I'm telling you, she got back to me at like 10 to 6. And I sent it at like
What's
15.
wrong with this picture?
I know I'm going, man, it's unbelievable. It must be working from home. I mean, I can't believe that they went into the office that early. But she approved it and moved the thing on, and it so
I'm
got
curious,
the gear.
is she a club member?
No, she isn't. I looked her up.
Okay.
No, I looked her up, but she's been really nice. It's just the process is cumbersome.
Yeah. Well, they have their requirements. They have to fill those files properly because that's part of the scrutiny that goes on later on too. So everybody's got to go through the same hoops.
I just don't know why they're involved in any of this. This isn't 1920.
But
It's
their
weird.
jobs.
Oh, it's because it's written in a book like that. It's crazy. It's not for the faint of heart. I'm just telling you. It'll freak you out. It's like the craziest.
I know you were surprised they didn't have a drive-through window where you could just place your order and then pull up and get your license, right?
It's just so silly. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. So anyway, I was doing that this morning. And then I went to Healdsburg, and man, it was active over there. Holy crap, man. We're going to be busy.
Good.
Yeah, so that was very, very good. Thank you, folks. Bye now. Enjoy. Take care. Did you enjoy it? Good. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Healdsburg was active. So apparently, we're targeted for July 1 as an opening. goes perfect. Normally, on 4th of July, we're closed. We don't see nothing. I mean, it's just a dead zone. That place is rocking on 4th of July. What's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you.
We're just
We're
live on our little broadcast.
Yeah, we're live. That's all
we're
right.
live. It's okay. Yeah, exactly. Greetings.
So 4th of July, we'll be open up there. And
So I have an idea. Now you have a bottle of wine here.
what's here?
Yeah, right there. Why don't you do a red, white, and blue promotion?
Oh,
Pick a red wine, a white wine, and bring this dude out.
as the blue.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Okay, good. Right there.
Like a special pricing or something?
Yeah, or something. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just,
All right.
I'm working.
All right.
We're working on this.
We can, yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm okay with that.
All right.
All
That's
right,
good.
so
Good
for,
stuff.
for those of you that want a big freaking Pinot Noir, you ain't getting one. You're not getting one any bigger than this. If you can figure out a way to get if you can figure out a way to get one bigger than this, then bring that baby in there. Let's do a little side by
I would
side.
love to.
But
Yeah, I would love to see.
I've never
bigger.
seen it. I've never seen
This is one of the bigger Pinot Noirs.
one.
for
I've
sure.
never seen brand new French oak, and I've never heard of anyone going 20 months. God, I can't even think.
Yeah.
You know, all those, when I worked at Pine Ridge, they own Archery Summit up in Dundee in Oregon. And those are pretty big wines, but man, they were never that. They were
Well,
never.
you can go that long, but we're talking about 100% new oak, and that's where
Looney Tunes,
you have
man.
to dial those two together. Suddenly,
Yeah.
that's a long time and a
Yeah.
lot of oak.
Yeah. So this is Deering. I was hoping to get their GSM, but they're trying to get stuff labeled.
Which is Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre.
Yes, which I didn't know when my son and I went up to the San Ynez area, and I was embarrassed that I didn't know that because we don't see a lot
It's a
of
common
it.
term. I mean, it's a term that comes out of Australia. I don't know if they invented it over there, but it's also obviously everywhere else in the wine world. But with that kind of blend, they found that kind of blend. It's a southern France Rhone varietal peppery kind of style. But because you have those three characteristics, three grapes going in there, you get this kind of a blended quality that it's like three-part harmony, with a musical thing. And so you can adjust those, but overall you have a complete experience that is really quite nice. So GSM is up and coming.
Yeah, so we'll have a GSM. We might have two if that other winery comes on board. I think they're coming on board. They were really happy with what we were doing. And they're coming on at the right time. Because I'll tell you what, anybody that waited, that was waffling with me, you're going to be really upset. Because,
It'll cost you a whole lot more.
oh, hell yeah, the cost to run up there is a lot more, man. It's freaking expensive. It's not
But
cheap.
you needed to fill with the top quality options you have. You needed
Yeah.
to fill the house.
Yeah.
But as things grow and change,
Yeah.
It's going to be rocking it, obviously. But then coming in fresh for a new winery, it would be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That exposure up there is going to be amazing. You watch, the high-end stuff is going to rip out the door. I mean, it's not even going to be a fair fight. So 2011 Sonoma Valley fruit. This comes from the Mayakama Mountain, and right in, it's basically, that's like Kenwood,
Yeah.
Nuns Canyon.
A little bit Glen Ellen area.
Mm.
It's a 2011, isn't it?
2011.
Okay.
Soft finish, nice mouthfeel. It's not over the top on the jammy side, but it's not on the spicy as much as it's not the Dry Creek style. It's definitely.
Yeah, some of the bigger
Sonoma.
styles, Zinfandels, get that spicy edge to them, and this doesn't dial that up at all. But you're right about it, the jammy part of it. There's a lot of that density of jam that comes through in this.
Yeah, nice fruit. It's soft, got a beautiful nose. Yeah, you can put a little time on that.
Oh yeah.
Don't be afraid
This
of
is
those.
age-worthy.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the Zins.
Seriously, they surprisingly they hold a long time.
Yeah.
Even though you don't taste those edgy tannins like you do in a Cabernet, there's just enough depth to these that these will take quite a bit of aging on them as well.
I do not have any tasting notes. Shame on you for not getting those to me. Anyway, no, everybody's busy. They're all so busy. I give
All
them a
your
hard
viewers
time.
should be sending you tasting notes. Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
Well,
That'd
when
be
they get this
cool.
wine, taste it and then give me the notes on it. Yeah. It's hard for these wineries. They're just, one-man shows. I feel for them in that regard because
Yeah.
they're doing everything. They don't have teams of people. This is like, get it on. They do it all. And Todd, who does the wines here and owns the brand, um, he's in the vineyard too. I mean, they're doing like major league, construction and stuff. They're building roads and all this crazy stuff on the hill. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, he's pretty dedicated to his property, to his brand, and the history he's got. I've talked to him at great length, and he's a great guy, and
He's
does
super
an excellent
fun.
job. This is
Yeah.
beginning to be discovered now as a very fine wine, and
Hmm.
more and more people are enjoying it.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is soft, pretty, nice mouthfeel. This is a real pretty wine.
And because there's enough acid in this, you get, in terms of the jam, you also get a lot of strawberry. You get, what I'm picking up too is orange peel. Orange
Mhm.
peel, which is kind of that really rugged but orangey kind of quality in here.
Is that a reaction from the soil up there, or the weather, or barrel, or what?
I think it's the way he finally ended up putting the wine together in the first place. And I'm sure he's blending different blocks and so forth and pulling things
Mhm.
together. But and maybe it's exactly what he's looking for, where it doesn't go into that fruit forward kind of bigness. This has got more complexity to it than you would typically get in a Zinfandel.
I think some of that, that particular vineyard starts at about 100 foot, and it goes all the way to like 1,500 feet.
Yeah, this
So
would
he's
be
got
definitely this would be definitely because you have that low to high going on.
Mhm.
You're going to get that kind of complexity anyway. You're going to get talk about that change in the temperature. You're going to get the real warmth, and you also get really coolness from the top on down. And this is, I think, one of the more complex of wines I've had from that area. And now you explain why, because you've got
Yeah.
that vineyard that starts low and goes pretty high. I mean, it becomes mountain fruit
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah.
It's a beautiful vineyard, and he's promised me, I made him promise me that we are going to do an event up there, and he does a paella that is killer.
Wow.
We had a little thing over at a little luncheon at his house, and he put on this paella that was almost as big as this table, and it was fabulous. It was really good. And I said, well, if you can do it there, you can put that in your pickup truck and take it to the vineyard and certainly do it
Oh,
there.
sure.
It's only,
Yeah. That'd be a great experience. Yeah.
oh, it's really fantastic. And he loves to cook, so he's kind of a showman.
Okay.
So he was going to figure out a way for us to cook a paella on the back bar.
Oh, nice.
Can you imagine that cooking and how that smelled?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So we may get to that point, and if I can do it, relatively easy. It didn't look that complicated. There were many steps, but I loved it. It was fantastic. So we're going to
great
have
idea.
an event in the vineyard. We're a little off target this year just because of the move and everything. Normally we'd be talking about lobster lunch and all that. I really don't have
Your bandwidth right now is
my
like
bandwidth
spent
is
to-
all screwed up.
and that's important because you get that foundation going first.
I've got to do these other things that are time sensitive that I don't have time. I mean, I really can't coordinate. I could probably coordinate something like the barbecue up or the paella on his vineyard because he could handle a good chunk of that. So we'll do some stuff, and we'll have stuff we can do in Healdsburg because the outdoor patio is killer. And if we want to do a little, I can put a little barbecue out there too on a special event.
like it.
That's not
I like it.
there's not a bad. And then, speaking of special events, if you're coming down to Railroad Square this weekend, Sunday, we are having a private fundraiser for a family friend that has, unfortunately, got cancer. And but he's a young man. He's 24, so his outlook is quite good. They just had their first baby, so it's a sad story from that perspective, but it's a good story because he's a young man. And we're trying to raise money for that family because he was just starting this internship that didn't have benefits, and his benefits are about to run out. But so they did one of those GoFundMe accounts,
Sure.
and their goal was 50,000, just so they have money to live on while he's going through chemo. Because when he's doing the chemo, he can't work. I mean,
Right.
that knocks you out pretty good, even though he's a young guy. And the goal was 50,000, and they're at like 34 or something.
Wow, nice.
That was just fantastic. Nice. So if you're in the area on Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a fundraiser here. We won't be open for normal business because I think it looks like there's going to be like 60 people here. So that's going to take the whole room. I mean, we're going to fill the joint. We're going to have a tent out front. We're going to be cooking tri-tip.
Okay.
And but if you are compelled and want to help out, there'll be some silent auction items that you might be able to pick up for a deal. Cool. And all the proceeds, of course, goes to Bogues and to their family. They have their little baby, Isla Blue.
Oh.
Yeah, Bogue and Courtney, they're awesome. We've watched them grow up as little kids, so we got a lot invested. But come on down. We're going to be pouring some great wines. We're going to have some tri-tip. We're going to have some food. We'll have some silent auction items. We're going to do one of those fun to need things, which is kind of cool. Where you start out and you go, okay, who can do 2,500, and one guy puts a paddle up, and who can do 1,000, and then two, and who can do 500, and you keep bringing it down until it gets into the comfort zone of everybody in the room.
Right.
And it's really just about helping out.
Yeah, real important. And,
well, stuff happens, man. It's like,
But what's cool is you got the ability to come in and have a good time and see other folks who share that same ethic, and a lot of local folks and so forth.
Oh, and it's their family on the Callan side. There are like millions of them. They're coming out of the woodwork, man. It's crazy. There's so many, and so it's going to be a good time. We're going to have Falcon Christopher is going to be playing, so that's really cool.
Nice. We
had that already locked in before we even had the event. So
yeah, we helped with a fundraiser for them as well at one point too, I recall.
Yeah, we did.
So, it's kind of this thing that happens here.
Yeah, you got to give it. You got to give it back, or it'll be gone. Okay, so I put this at the end because this is a Petite Syrah. But after I had the Pinot, after I'd already made the menu, I went, holy crap! That Pinot was bigger than this.
So a Petite Syrah is different than Syrah. So a Petite Syrah, if you listen to that word, it sounds like, well, it's just a kind of a junior, wimpier
oh my
Syrah.
Gosh,
Petite Syrah actually is, because they're smaller grapes and so forth, there's more intensity, so there's a lot more tannic quality. But the way John Bamberry, the winemaker here at Bonneau, does it, he softens it so that it's not this hard, edgy kind of Petite Syrah, which is common in many parts of the world, especially France. But he's actually tried to bring it forward, and similar to doing that Zinfandel, we talked, make it more friendly.
Wow.
John is doing the same thing on
this. If you guys don't like this wine, then cancel the club, man, because I can't do any better than that.
Buy it and send it back.
Yeah,
send it back.
Just send it back. I'll take it. Because, when I get into big reds, I always look for chocolate. I like that backbone of chocolate. Boy, that's all over that all day long. He's got aromas of blackberry, dark chocolate. That's really prominent, and blueberry and currant. Um, that's a really nice wine.
Yeah.
And what's cool about this wine is it's Moon Mountain. It's called Moon Mountain, and Moon Mountain sits right below the famous Monte Rosso vineyard, which I've had the pleasure of going to. I get to go to all kinds of cool stuff, but I went to that one because my wife worked for Gallo, and that's a Gallo property. And I think they were getting ready to do an event or something, so she needed me to help her out or something. We drove around in this big Suburban four-wheel drive, and it's on the top of the mountain, man. It's on the top. That's where God went, let's make this thing really pretty. I mean, it is. It is really, it's breathtaking. It is quite remarkable when you
And so
see
this
that.
comes from right above that,
No, right below it.
right below it?
Right below it.
Okay.
There's nothing above the Monte Rosso. That's the very top. But right below that is the Moon Mountain, the new AVA, and it's Ty Caton's vineyard, which, ironically, Ty was one of my first vintners that came in here. And then once he opened his own tasting room, then he didn't need me anymore, and I love him for that because he grew and
Yeah, he wasn't upset or anything.
No,
It was
no,
like,
not at all.
"Oh,
He
thank you for
just
growing
didn't- he
my-
didn't- yeah.
growing my brand."
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
we sold a ton of his wine, and he didn't need me,
That's great.
and I'm okay
And
with
he has
it.
a great name. And
He's got a great
reputation
name, and he makes really
good
nice wine. And then John's buying fruit from the Ty Caton vineyard that I've had an opportunity to go visit with Ty, and that's one of those weird up and down kind of crazy, like you would think, how do you farm this thing? I mean, really,
Yeah.
seriously, what kind of equipment are you going through, and then what did you have to do to figure out where to put all the vines? Because it's such a crazy, it's not uniform at all.
Right.
You go up and around, and it goes like this, and so it's so janky. You'd think you'd almost give up and go, well, we can't farm up here.
Right, right.
It's really bizarre. You have to have an incredible mind to know where to do that. That's crazy. It's out of my pay grade, that's for sure. Of course, lots of things are out of my pay grade because, what do I know?
Well, you just do this for fun anyway. You don't get paid.
Yeah, that's the way
Yeah,
it seems to me. It's what my bookkeeper
No
must say.
problem.
She goes, boy, you must really like this business. So, Petite Syrah, 2013 All Moon Mountain fruit. That is super soft. That is soft and
Again, yeah.
man, you guys in the wine club, you're getting 4 really killer wines. These are no jokes at all.
What's really nice about what you're sending out, though, is these aren't those wines that are so big. Say, gosh, I wish I had a wine to drink tonight.
Yeah.
You could drink any of these tonight. You probably want to decant a few of them, perhaps. But these are available to you right now for that particular occasion, or you can hang on to them, and 10 years from now.
You
they'll
could
still be
hang
great.
on to that
Yeah.
for 10 years. Look at that sucker, man. Are you kidding? Yeah, you could
Leaves color
easily
on the
any of
glass.
these reds that we put in the shipment. You could put some time on them. That's not gonna hurt them at all. Yeah, wow. I can just imagine what that's gonna be like in a couple of years.
It'd be great.
That's when you really want to see this thing. This thing is gonna blossom in the bottle. I mean, it's beautiful. Did you get some of that, Coco? Is it good? Yeah? Yeah. No. It's super dark. Well, that's because of the color of the grape. It's more than, you can't hardly, it's dense. It's super dense.
It's
And
coating the glass.
look how it does. It actually coats, you see the color? It stays right in. I mean,
Normally you don't see that. Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
it's
very
beautiful.
pretty.
It is really,
And,
now
and the pricing on this is
it's $32. Unless I did something wrong, it's $32. That's wrong. That's retail.
so it's
You guys,
Cellars
you
Club
guys
is-
watching, don't think for a minute that those prices are going to stay. They're not, gang.
well. Also, in fairness,
I'm
too,
telling
I've-
you, they're
I've
not
had a
gonna
lot
stay.
of Petite Syrah, and if you go into any supermarket or pretty much anywhere and grab a Petite Syrah,
Oof.
it's not going to be this kind of wine. This kind of wine captures the
Wow.
character of a true Petite Sirah isn't manufactured to be so friendly and so forth. This is actually the true character of what a Petite Sirah should be without taking it to the point where I can't start drinking this for
Wow.
7 years. So you can drink it now. You can, if you want it a little softer than what you do, it's soft now. If you want to do it a little softer, then you simply decant it. And one way to decant, too, and I know Heidi Berry has her thinking about decanting.
Oh, yeah. No.
Uh,
A blender.
One way to decant, well, you can do the blender, too. It's too noisy, and then you got to wash the blender.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it doesn't work. What does that frappy switch on the blender mean? I don't know what that even means.
Flappy?
F-R-A-P-P-E. I have no idea what that is.
Oh.
I don't know. On my blender, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't either.
You don't
As
cook
you can
well.
tell.
Well,
I'm sure
'cause you eat
somebody will
bird
know what that
food,
means,
that's
and
why.
we'll look that up someday. But if you realize that when you pour into a glass, you're pouring to the widest spot of the glass, approximately either plus or minus. That's going to be the most contact with the air. So what you do when you open up a bottle is you pour pour a glass for anybody. So you have two people there. You pour those glasses right out there right away. Those things will start already working toward where the decanted wine will be. And then if you decide you want to decant the sides, you can do that. But leaving a glass out there while you're doing some other things and getting to the wine, that's kind of like a halfway decant thing. And you can do that. And that'll get you a little more softness than you have right now. I don't know how long this has been open. How long this has been open?
I opened it fresh. It's probably an hour or
Okay.
hour and a half.
All right.
Well, now it's probably 2 hours.
And it probably could use a few more hours or some
It's
decanting.
yeah, but see, big wines don't bother me at all. I can go after them way early, and I have no issue with it whatsoever. Because the finish on this is soft. It's really soft. So John killed it. He nailed it, man.
Yeah,
That's a nice wine.
That's a 2013.
2013. So for those of you that haven't seen our new location, go ahead and throw that up, Coco. This is Healdsburg. This is, you'll see it's copper top bar and antique style chandeliers. It's not decorated yet. My wife is the queen of decoration, and she's got her eyeball all over that thing. So that room's going to look really cool when we get it all done. But it's pretty much, I mean, it's all there. There's not you've been in there. There's not a hell of a lot to add.
Right.
It's decoration is really all we're looking to do, and that'll be a work in progress. Unlike when we did this room, we started with a gutted room and got it to finished. We'll probably do Healdsburg in phases, just because of having time to really do it. But the room itself.
Also, I like the fact you want to open the doors as soon as you can.
Yes.
And whatever vintners are in there, that's great. The other ones will come along because of the ABC.
Yep.
And it's ready to go, so you can do that. And then you can learn, even getting feedback from your customers, too.
Yep.
Like what else might make sense.
Sure.
So I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. No, we're gonna tear it up, man. That's gonna be awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
All right. So I want you to tell a story or two of anything.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go up to the
By the
library.
way, did you know I brought my library card?
Do you have your library card? Well, I need it because I'm going up to the library, and I'm going to grab a library wine to finish the show with, because I think it's only the right thing to do since we can.
All right, that's perfect.
Does that work?
All right.
All right, I'm out of here. All right.
We should actually take you on a
Okay.
Go cam.
Yeah, if we had a Go
we'll get him
camera.
like one of those Go cams. And
Yeah,
then we
so
can have
you got me
little-
filming here? Okay. All right,
little
wait a-
music while he
All right,
ramps.
little music as I
And we
walk
can
up
see him,
here.
See him back in the background climbing
I'm
those
coming
stairs
up here.
there,
These
so-
guys thought they were getting away with
So-
not having no one know what they were doing. I just want to get something good.
See, now,
What do I
remember
want?
in that, what was that movie
What do I
where,
want from the library?
Your mic is still on. We
Just
can
so you
hear
know.
you.
he's up there talking
It
to
is, I
himself.
know. They can hear me, and they're listening as I, ooh.
I like this. See, this is,
Ooh.
remember that
I'm
movie
gonna save
where,
these for a
what's his
really
name went into the
special,
bathroom
special.
and he saw his
Oh,
microphone out?
those are very good, though. I've had them all. Oh.
Yeah, and one
Okay.
of those comedy movies.
Have,
He
um,
finished the speech, and he walked into the bathroom.
Let's have this.
and that was an interesting little Hollywood experience. We're having
Super
it live here.
and Syrah 2008. Can't go wrong with that.
No, it
2008
was
Syrah,
like-
can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big wine. Okay, I found one,
Uh,
Dave.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I found something that we all can have.
I tried to talk over this, but he's talking nonstop.
I need a
himself here.
way to open it.
All right,
Didn't have
we
a
can
way to
open
open
it,
it. You know.
So we're about to get. I'm assuming
Yeah,
it's a
how are
3-liter
you?
bottle he opened.
Good.
Do you think? I don't
How are
think
you?
so.
How's it going, man? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Okay, all right. So I've picked this one before. I was real tempted to.
I tried to speak to carry on a conversation. I didn't need to. We just listened to you.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I was talking to them up there. I guess you could probably hear me.
Yes,
now.
we heard you louder than me.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Is that right? I should turn it
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Well, I was talking to the audience, but I was talking to them up there. You didn't follow me with
Yes.
the camera. That
But you
would've
know what?
worked
Up
just
there,
fine.
that's another story. Right.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a 60 to 1.
It is. Chance
70.
that we saw you up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, actually, what I should have done was I should have staged that camera up
Oh,
there.
so you would be arriving up there, cut the camera.
And
too.
they hit. I can do that. I have enough cord to do that. That's what I'll do.
I think
That's
so.
what I'll do. And you'll just cut. Yeah, that's easy.
We'll have to explore that as
That's
we get more
simple.
complicated.
Oh, that's
We
easy.
need the other Dave to work on that for you.
Yeah.
We have 2 Daves in
Ooh.
here now. We have.
So I got a Super Sonoma
Oh.
2008 Syrah to finish up.
Now, was that just random, or did you really carefully? Did you plan this ahead of time? This particular one?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh.
I was compelled at the moment and said, I've had this before. This is pretty good stuff.
So tell me, with Super Sonoma, is everything done flash détente or
No.
not always?
No, not at all. I think he did it just to the Pinot Noir. I think he was just kind of playing around with it, actually. So I'm not even sure if it went into production, but I tasted it when he pulled it out of the tank and then ran it through there, and I went, wow, that's a different wine.
Wow,
Holy
God.
crap, in like 5 seconds. So this is a 2008 high elevation Mayakama Mountain. He made 100 cases, so we never made a lot of this. 2008, a little difficult year, I would think.
Yeah, yeah, you had those fires, but in certain areas, no problem.
No
Other
problem.
areas, you had a lot,
Yeah.
especially down low where the smoke would settle
There
in.
you go. So that's one of the library wines. One of the things that we've been putting together, and I've got a pretty good collection now of library, older vintages that you should enjoy because they're fantastic wines. They really are.
You know, a lot of people buy
And
the
this is a great example of a,
You know, a lot of people go and buy their wines and put them in their cellars and keep them.
yeah.
But if you have a particular newfound interest and so forth, you can probably call Scott and find out that he's got some older
Oh,
vintage
yeah. Oh, that's
of
wonderful.
that particular varietal. In this case, Syrah, which you can buy. I'm assuming these are available to anybody who wants to buy these.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
And, you know, they become rare, so they get a little more expensive, but they're still pretty good value. They really are. Because these are aging fantastic. They're in the right environment. They're sitting the way they're supposed to sit. Beautiful fruit, man.
Beautiful fruit.
Everything
There's
just
a lot
came-
of oak complexity there, but it's not getting in the way.
not at all.
It's
The fruit
very
hasn't
nice.
fallen off of that at all, though. Look at the color of that.
Oh yeah, no, nice.
Nothing. That's fantastic.
we're
I
talking
think
about
retail on
8
that is like
years. Yeah.
54, I think it is. But it's an example of aging a Syrah grape that you don't normally talk about as an age-worthy wine. But
Well, yeah. In this particular case, though, we're talking about 2008 vintage, harvested in 2008.
yeah,
It's now 2016, so we got 8 years already. And
Yeah.
I'm turning this and looking at this, and this thing still has a little bit of that bluish red tint. Now you expect 8 years later. I mean, we're talking 8 years later.
yeah, you might get a kind of brick like this.
Yeah,
you know.
it should be. It should be. Gosh, it's going to be orange, so I know it's old. If I'm doing a blind tasting,
But
I'm
you
looking
wouldn't
at
know
this-
that.
You wouldn't know this because this is still actually evolving.
Yeah, and you're not getting it in the nose either. So this has a lot more life in it. So for those that want to have something super special, pick up a library wine because man, you can do some stuff with that.
Find a special occasion. It doesn't have to match up with the year or anything, but just find a special occasion, grab a bottle, and share something that was bottled 8, 10 years ago is amazing.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's a great addition right there. So there's an example of a really nice Syrah, and we've got a little bit of it. So take advantage. When it's gone, it's gone. There isn't any other market you're going to find that. And but those are excellent for dinner parties. And you go to a dinner party, and I've got some verticals, guys. You need to take advantage of that. I have some 5 and 6 Barrett Vineyard. That stuff's rocking, man. That wine
Verticals are great, yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
You begin to taste
I'm starting
the same winemaker, the same vineyard.
I'm a member over at Robert Young, and I'm starting to acquire the Scion. So I've got multiple years going of the Scion, but those are really fun. You do a dinner party, that you're going to be the hit, man. That's the only way to go. I mean, that's very cool.
That's great. That's great. I like Robert Young too.
I do too. Hats off to them. They do a great job. All right, so we started out tonight with Moondance Cellars 2015 Russian River Sauvignon Blanc, Super Sonoma 2013 Pinot Noir / Syrah. I don't know. It's just it is a big wine.
It's not really Syrah, but it sure feels that way, doesn't it?
Oh, man, it's crazy.
Flash and flash.
But really good.
Yeah,
I mean, wonderful.
nice.
Deering Winery, nice soft 2011, a little more on the jammy side. Sonoma Valley Zinfandel. The Bonneau Moon Mountain Petite Syrah, I got to say, that of the 4 wines, that one's pretty darn good. That's a show. That's one you want to finish your meal with, and you're okay with it. Even though the Super Sonoma was really big, you might integrate it in the bottom end of your menu, but that was a good finish. If you had a really nice meal, that would be nice. It's a mouthful. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, if you have multiple wines in your lineup, the intensity grows, and then you go off to a dessert wine or something like that, or something. Actually, I often tell people, when you're all done with your big cabs or your Syrahs or Petite Syrahs, the last thing you should do is a little refreshing white wine. Pick something that's vibrant and light and brings you back down the other side of that, too. If you're not going to do sweet, you don't like sweet dessert wine, just bring it back to white. And surprisingly, it'll be a good, refreshing way to add.
A little palate cleanser.
Yeah.
So, and then we finished up with Super Sonoma in 2008, Mayakama Mountain, all mountain fruit, Syrah. And I think he probably aged that like 30 months in brand new French oak. I mean, he killed it.
A lot of oak here, yeah.
Yeah, it's still there. There's no question. So, great lineup. That's the wine club shipment. We'll get the vintners in, the 4 vintners here. We'll get them in to talk about these wines over the next couple of weeks. We'll do a show in Healdsburg coming very soon as I get enough bandwidth up there. And then, we've got more stuff in the fire, I can just tell you right now. And we might, I don't know, if it's a miracle, I can do next week with a little beer. If not, the week after that, I should be on board, beer in hand. Well, Karina asked, without her microphone, she asked me, would we have the beer people in to talk about the beer? Yes, that would be a cool little addition to what we do.
Yeah.
So that's on the plate. It's on our radar, and we think that's going to be really fun. So a lot to talk about and a lot of fun things to enjoy. So want to thank all you guys for drinking the wine. That's the way you do it. Give yourselves a hand. You did really good, everybody. Nice job out there. Okay, they're not paying attention. They don't care. We got Karina running around doing double duty because we're a little understaffed. And then Dave, thank you for coming in and helping us explore the wine club wines. And this is where you discover wine. You're going to discover it in Healdsburg too.
Here and there.
And there. Here at Cellars of Sonoma. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week right here.